And I am back. Another really crappy lighting video vlogcast. I have a lot on my mind. I've been super busy this week, but I think I'll just kind of go over some of the stuff that's been on my mind. So let's get started. First, motocross thoughts. I'm a moto junkie. I follow all the latest news. I get press releases. I'm sort of part of the moto media. Would like to get back into fully doing that. Uh, Guys are dropping like flies. I'm gonna tell you. I think we should start listening to some of the old timers and just go back to two strokes. I mean, even the guys that are on the field, the ones that are either holdouts or have raced overseas, they a lot of them have said, the two strokes are just safer and they're more fun to watch in some ways, especially on Supercross. I think with outdoors, everything spreads out so much that it doesn't really matter what you're riding. It's just, outdoors is just fun to watch, and it's even more fun to be there. But my God, I mean, the last couple seasons, the guys just dropping like flies. You look at the 450 class; it's already thin because Dungey retired, and Villapoto retired, and Stewart's not racing, and Reed doesn't race outdoors, and there's a handful of great guys that are not racing outdoors. Davey Millsaps, I think he's the top rider. I mean, he always fills in that no man's land area where he's not really in the top 3 or 4, but he's not in the back with all the top 10 guys. But you look at the field and it's thin. And I mean, you look at the people, more and more people are retiring. Will Hahn retired last year. Trey Canard just retired. And even though I kind of saw it coming, I mean, there's a little part of me that kind of just felt bad because I know it's mental. I know that Trey has it in him. But at some point, you just got to hang up the boots. But you look at the people injured. I mean, my God, Brock Tickle is out. Jason Anderson hasn't been racing. Cooper Webb apparently just got injured, so he's out. Um, Marvin Muscan, even though he's injured, he's racing, but he has a torn ACL. Blake Baggett, also in the championship contention. He's got a broken thumb or something similar to that. Amart, I mean, these are guys that are all contending for the top 3 spots in the championship. And I mean, it's crazy. The only one not injured really is Tomac and Zach Osborne. The guys leading the points. You look at any of the guys that could challenge Tomac, they're either all injured or they're too squirrely. I mean, somebody like Barsha could if he just got back to the fitness level, but and the mental level he used to be at. But Barsha runs up front quick. Almost every moto he's running pretty far forward, and even if the pack was more full, I feel like he could do that. The problem is that he gets squirrely and he makes a stupid mistake and crashes out, and he just can't hang on. He makes a lot of mistakes. But the suit when it comes to the motocross season, I mean, pretty much anybody major is injured or they have some silly problem. Um, and I can kind of reading between the lines. I can see that Suzuki isn't happy with what RCH's performance, even though they have um, Justin Bogle, that one win from Bogle, and Bogle actually is a pretty good rider. He whole shotted a lot last year. Obviously, he has a 250 championship, and this year he won a race, but he's been, when it comes to starts, I mean, he's going to take over Alessi, Mike Alessi, for being one of the best starters out there. And even though he hasn't been able to hang on, I mean, he's a good rider. What shall we see for teams next year? I'm still predicting that KTM is either going to pick up Justin Hill or Brock Tickle. I keep saying Justin Hill. I don't know why, but just I feel like that's a big possibility. Yamaha's probably going to add a second guy. It's funny, last year there were more riders than there were spots. Now this year it's going to be the other way around. More spots than there are riders. But those are my moto thoughts. They're all over the place. But yeah, the sport's crazy. There's a lot of injuries. Something a little closer, and this is sort of moto related, is not only do I follow the pros and know a handful of them, not that closely, but I talk to them, so, when I see them at the races and stuff. But I also follow some of the stuff that goes on, locally in my area, and the track that I kind of used to photograph at all the time. I mean, they shut down recently, which kind of a bummer, but I could see the writing on the wall. But one of the kids that used to ride there, he just got killed in a crash, and he was the kind of kid that everybody knew, and he focused. I think the last year or so he was more focused on his football because, and this seems to be a case with a lot of these kids that I know, is that they go from, it used to be that if you didn't ride moto, you either did baseball or you just learned how to be a contractor. But more and more kids are choosing between moto and football, and they're going the football route because you can't get a motor scholarship, and it's hard to make it in the sport. I mean, there's a reason why the field is so thin now. I remember I went to Thunder Valley earlier this year, and it was funny. The 250 class, there were like 10 guys on the LCQ gate. Like, it wasn't a full last chance qualifier gate. Glen Helen, the whole schedule got thrown off this year because they didn't have a 250 LCQ. There weren't enough guys. And this is Southern California. This is where there are probably thousands of guys that ride 250s or race 250s on motocross tracks. They're not just desert riders. But they cancel it because there weren't enough riders, and it shows. The sport is hurting because of the cost of racing, as well as the injury level, and as well as you can't really. It's hard to make it in this sport. It really is. If you're paying $200 for an entry fee and you're not getting that back, because you didn't make the main event, or you didn't place, higher than 20th. I don't know what the actual numbers are, but it's hard. It really is. And, but, going back to this one kid, I mean, he was a great kid. He was larger than life. He lived his life to the fullest, and it's a real shame that he passed away. But, unfortunately that kind of stuff happens, and, we just gotta, remember him for who the great person he was, and, hope that we can, hang on, spend time and hang on to the people and that we haven't really spent time with. These videos usually run 10 minutes. I'm already at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. So I haven't really made like a real time frame. Like I said when I started doing these, the production value doesn't really matter that much. But eventually I will start filming these on a better camera, or at least in better lighting, because doing this in my car late at night, doesn't really add to anything. Other thoughts. I'm not getting into politics. I'm going to try and keep that a little simple, just because it's so contentious out there. But what I will say is this: is that people are not smart at all these days. People don't know how to think. People trust things a lot more than they should, and they trust television a lot more. And coming from somebody who doesn't really watch TV, I can just see how brainwashed many people are. It really is a shame that we live in a dumb society. And kind of the whole philosophy of America was to have a free society. But in order to have a free society, you need to have an intelligent group of people in that society. People think of anarchy as violence, but that's not true. Anarchy is without government. But anarchy would only work with a highly intelligent society, and we're nowhere near that. In fact, there are studies that say our IQ, our the West IQ of Western countries on average is dropping every generation, and it's been doing it for 3 generations, I think. And well, IQ obviously isn't everything. Um, the less intelligent a population is, the less capable they are at governing themselves. And that eventually turns into a more totalitarian society where you have a bigger government, or a government that is more likely to take power over the people, whether it needs it or not. And unfortunately, that has a negative effect on everybody. But people need to wake up. They need to learn how to think critically, and I mean that's just one of the many issues out here. But just my thoughts. I have many more thoughts, but I probably should save them for multiple videos because, hey, I have a topic to talk about every day. As you can see, I'm stuttering and stuff. This is because it's late at night. Maybe I'll do a cast tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday. Sunday's gonna be awesome. Saturday and Sunday. But until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Shout out to, I guess, the one guy following me. You know who you are, but maybe this channel will eventually grow. I want to do a video on like food and diet and exercise. I'm still not in shape, but I've been going to the gym. I've been exercising a lot more than I used to, and I'm losing weight. But it's a mixed battle because there are certain lifestyle changes that I haven't made that really have a negative effect. For instance, I really need to get a new bed, and I need to make, ensure that I sleep more. That's one thing. I need to drink more water. That's another thing. There's a lot. Nutrition is a huge subject, and I've been surrounded by people who have given me tons of great information. And I've seen nutrition really improve my life. Like, it makes a huge difference. Whenever I've done I've never done a full-on juice fast, but I've done something close to that, and I've done it for a couple months where I mainly drank homemade fruit juice, and wow, it was a great improvement. And I mean, that's not the only thing. Now I'm rambling. I'm tired. It's late. I'm on 13 minutes. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.